Okay, so I know it's going to look weird, like I'm adding a bunch of books onto my TBR and no possible way of me getting through them because of my current pace that I've been going through books, but hopefully that'll all make sense as we get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and today I'm going to be talking about my April TBR. Now recently, with everything else going on, my wife and I were told to go into isolation. So this is now filming on day 2 of 14-day isolation. So I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hand. Got a lot of kind of other projects I want to work on as well, but I'm going to have a lot of time to read. So this TBR is quite large, but like I said, I've got a lot of free time, so hopefully that makes sense. So the first book on my TBR for April is Hero of Ages, book 3 in the Mistborn trilogy. I am just about done with Well of Ascension, and then I will jump right into this, and reviews on Mistborn and Well of Ascension will be coming out here shortly. Everything going on, my work was crazy before, and so I haven't had a lot of time to film. So now I have a lot of time to make videos, which I'm going to be making some more soon. Next up is my Stephen King book for April. I've decided I'm going to read one King book per month until I have read them all. That means I've got like 5 years worth of content to read. So that book is The Stand. Now, everybody and their mother has been reading this. This mass paperback version went up like $2 since everything started, just because of the demand of everybody wanting to read this book, because it's a parallel to current events, or plus dramatic other things that could, happen, sort of. Anyway, it's a post-apocalyptic. Virus goes through, wipes out 99% of the world, and now it follows mostly these two main groups that are kind of at odds with one another. Alright, so next up is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Now, I'm very excited for this one. This is one that's very, has piqued my interest as it's a new release. I'll probably be reading this as soon as possible. And basically, every city that has been great throughout history has a soul. Now, modern day New York actually has multiple souls. And so these kind of Scion, Avatar type individuals start to forget their regular life and are starting to become more and more in tune with the city. Most specifically the Bronx or Manhattan, all these different boroughs of New York is what they're kind of tuned into. And now they have to come together to fight this ancient evil that's trying to destroy New York. Alright, so one of the things that I want to introduce to the channel is a weekly manga or comic book review or discussion, depending on what part of the series it is. One of the first series that we're going to be tackling is Saga, and it's very interesting because it is very graphic, it is very explicit, while at the same time being extremely wholesome and very family-oriented as far as family value, like the importance of family and sticking together and whatnot. So I'm going to be reading this as well as starting Vinland Saga over. As time has gone on, the details of each volume of Vinland Saga has kind of faded away, so to speak, to where I don't know which ones, what details happen in which book. So I'm just going to reread each volume and then, basically switch off between Saga and Vinland Saga. Ironically, we're both reading sagas for our comic book / manga reviews, interestingly. But anyway, we're going to switch off back and forth between these two. And then as we finish one, we'll work in another series. Alright, so for our sci-fi pick of the month, I'm going to be reading The Martian by Andy Weir. And I've seen the movie. I understand what it's about. I love the kind of survival stories, and especially this one where, astronaut crash lands on the moon. Like I said, I've seen the movie, so I can know how it goes. But I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and even that it's better than the movie. So I'm going to pick it up. It's a nice little short one. I needed some short ones because, that Stephen King book's 1,400 pages. But I'm going to tackle this one. Like I said, I'm excited. I might even watch the movie and kind of do a comparison review of what each one did well versus the other one. But let me know what you think if you want to see that later on this month. Alright, now last and certainly not least, I have The Promise of Blood by Brian McClellan. It's the first book in the Powder Mage series. This is kind of a fantasy world with muskets and powder and whatnot. And this is a book that's just been like the One Ring to Frodo, where it's just like, hey, read me. Hey, pick me up. You know you want to. Hey, you gonna get around to reading me sometime. And so, like I said, just a very compelling cover. But other than that, I don't know a ton of this. I had picked up the sequel trilogy and found out that this one very directly influences that one, and that one has spoilers for this one. So I want to pick this one up. Like I said, I'm very excited about this, but this one's kind of on the bottom of the list. If I read through everything else, I'm going to pick this one up. Alright, so a couple of my audiobooks that I've have picked up that I listen to while I'm doing things where I can't actually be physically reading. I have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is just a satirical, funny sci-fi series. I'm sure if you're a fan of sci-fi, you know about this book. It's not anything new. Also, if it comes through soon enough, I'll also have The Three-Body Problem. And that one is also a modern fantasy that has very well done. Everybody's sings its praises about how good that trilogy is. So hopefully if it comes through and I have enough time to actually be listening to audiobooks during this time, I'll also be listening to that. Alright, that's all I have for today. Which of these books are you excited for? What are you reading this month? Are you reading more because of everything going on? You staying home and cracking open some books? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm JJ the Bearded Bookworm, and I'll see you next time.